Hey, it's Anthony Iannarino. I've got my coffee. I've got my camera right in front of me so I can talk to you, and I'm going to talk to you about non-believers. There are a group of people that I would call cynical, skeptical, and non-believers. They have a structure that they've used, let's call it a sales methodology or a sales approach that they've used for a very long time, and they assume that it will still work today and it will work in the future, even though that's not true. They believe this because when they started using their methodology or their sales approach, it worked perfectly. But now time has gone on, and in some cases, people are still thinking that the way that we sold at the end of the 1960s is how we should be selling in the third decade of the 21st century. So that's where we are right now. You have to take this into consideration. If you don't recognize all the changes, then you're not paying attention. Buyers want something different from us. They want us to help them make good decisions. It's not so much about the size of your company. It's not so much about how great your solution is. And you can lose to a smaller company with a solution that should be no match for you only because they have a better methodology than you do. That's it. Now, I have had 5 very large companies tell me that they can get a meeting with any client that they want. They have no trouble. They can pick up the phone and they will schedule a meeting. But this same group of 5 have all told me the same thing. We can't get a second meeting. Why can't you get a second meeting? It's because your sales methodology or your sales approach is not doing what it needs to do for a buyer to choose to buy from you instead of somebody else. This is where we are right now in this environment. And I want you to understand that as things change in our environment, buyers are looking for a different level of help. They're looking for more insight from a salesperson. They're looking for someone who can give them the confidence and the certainty to move forward. And all of those things are true right now, and that's what buyers are saying, and that's what those of us who still sell experience all the time. They're very interested in having a long conversation with someone who's got a good approach. And in fact, in the past, just maybe a couple months ago, I went on a sales call. There were 6 senior leaders in the room. They gave me 2.5 hours. That's a long time. I have no idea how much it cost their company to have those 6 people spend 2.5 hours with me, but 2 weeks later, they did the same thing. They gave me 2.5 hours again. That was a very large deal. It was simply because the methodology that I was using was so different from every other company that they had seen that they recognized that there was more value in that particular approach than other approaches that they had seen. Now, this is happening to you. It's happening to very large companies. The way that they sold so successfully in the past no longer works anymore. So there's some signs that you can look at to have a conversation about what this might look like and how you know this. If you're a sales leader and your team isn't winning the deals that they need, they're probably losing important opportunities, because when you pursue enterprise or large clients, they tend to choose a partner and stick with them for a long time. Your sales organization may not have another opportunity to compete for that client for a decade or longer. And I've done this myself by winning them and keeping companies for as long as 40 years. They keep the same provider for years and years and years, which means you can't get it away from them because they're locked in. It's probably time for you to make a change if you're not getting the results that you want. It's not because your salespeople are not good salespeople. It's not because the competitors are so much better than them. Most of all, what you need to know is not to be a non-believer. It's time for you to start looking at a sales transformation where you adopt a new sales methodology, a new approach with new strategies, the strategies that work today. And if you can do that, you'll find out that it's a lot easier for you to reach your goals than it is to try to have a pipeline with so much coverage that when we look at it, we notice there's a whole bunch of first meetings that have never had a second meeting. They're dead. Those are dead. They're not coming back. You're going to have to start over with a better idea. It will be better for you to have a higher win rate than greater pipeline coverage. That is true. So if you think that coverage is going to help you, I'm here to tell you it's probably time for you to change. If you haven't done it in the last, say, 5 or 6 years, it's definitely time for you to take a look at some new sales methodologies and some strategies that will help your team win. If you are a rep, listen, you don't have to wait. Unless your sales manager is going on every call with you, you can sell how you want to, and if you win, nobody's going to have anything to say except for thank you for winning those deals. I'm Anthony Iannarino. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.